Dive is a pretty fun game on Roblox where you play rounds over and over again while getting buffs, debuffs, and spawning new enemies. But the game isn't that popular yet and has little to no guides. Which is why today I will be explaining everything a beginner needs to know about Roblox Dive. Let's get into it. First, let's go over the basics. When you spawn into the lobby, you will see a big board right in front of you. You can choose to have a single player or multiplayer game. You can also set it to private or public. In public mode, random people may join, but in private mode, only people with the code can join. If you want to join a friend, you can have your friend tell you the server code, which is at the bottom right of their screen, right above the world number. Dive supports up to 100 players in one server, which can get chaotic at times. Once you load in, you'll be greeted with the first level. This level can either be a normal grassy level or a desert level, and has no catches or twists. So you can just play it like you would any parkour game. Just make sure to avoid bushes/cactuses. On the left, you'll have your health and stamina bars, which for now are 100 health and 100 stamina, along with your money counter. You have 3 abilities that can help you finish levels quicker. The first one is called Dash. It propels you forward and uses 50 of your stamina. The second one is called Super Jump, which propels you upwards and forwards and uses 35 stamina. And your third one is your ability, which in this case is your dive, which uses 30 stamina. When you dive, you can turn in a short window of time, and landing on enemies causes you to parry and stun them for a short amount of time. You can use these abilities to cut corners and save time. Completing a level in under 20 seconds will give you bonus coins. Speaking of coins, coins will also spawn along the way. Once you get to the shop, all of the previous coins will respawn and all enemies will despawn, but they are replaced with rockets. These rockets are very easy to dodge, but if you are on low health and a beginner, I suggest you don't go back to collect them again. But if you are on full health, you may be able to go back and collect the coins again, meaning you'll be able to have more to use at the shop, which appears at the end of every level. At the end of every level, you also have to choose a debuff. And every 2 rounds, you will have to choose a new enemy. If you play with other people, the money is shared, and above 4 people together, you will need to vote for what to get next. If you fall into the water, it will reduce your max HP by half. This can stack and scale. These yellow platforms are checkpoints. If you fall into the water after one of these, you will respawn at a checkpoint instead of at the very beginning. Some debuffs are worse than others, same with enemies. I will explain all the enemies in more detail next. There are 9 enemies in the game, which I will go over in this section of the video. First, we have Draco Bloxer. It is the simplest enemy in the game. It will lock onto your position then charge at you. If you get hit, you will get knocked in a random direction a bit and take 25 damage. Touching any other parts of him other than his head will cause you to get damaged. He's a big slimy worm that will slither up your hole. Be careful, folks. What the fuck? Next, we have Angel. This entity will follow the space in front of you, taking a few seconds before locking on and sending down a lightning bolt. As long as you continue running or dash out of its range, you should be fine. Getting hit by Angel will give you the electrocuted status effect. One tip to remember is not to dash before it locks on, or else it will follow you and you will waste stamina. Next up, we have Blizzard. Blizzard is a pretty simple enemy. It will follow you around before locking onto you and shooting an icicle along its path of fire. As long as you stay out of this path of fire and constantly move, you will be fine. The next entity I'm going to talk about is Pi.exe. This entity is a GUI that appears on your screen. his oven percentage will slowly go up by increments of 10%. To counter this, you can collect timers that spawn pretty commonly on the map. Each timer reduces the percentage of his oven by 30%. If the percentage reaches 100%, he will smack a pie onto your screen, and it will stay a few seconds, blocking your screen and slowing you down before disappearing. A tip for this enemy is just to always collect timers, even if you think you don't need it. The next entity I'm going to talk about is Mine. This entity is very similar to Blizzard, except instead of firing projectile, it dashes directly where its line of fire is, ending up where its line of fire would end up. The same tip for Blizzard works here too. Just keep constantly moving and you should be fine. The next enemy is the Imitation. This enemy is very similar to Mine and Blizzard, but it does not have a line of fire and does not deal any damage. It will randomly try to ram into you, and if it does, it will knock you in a random direction, not dealing any damage. The Emanation is also bigger than a mine and shaped like a screen. But if you keep constantly moving, it should also have a very hard time hitting you. Next up, we have Ron, probably my least favorite entity in the game. He may look chill, but don't let that fool you. This guy randomly takes breaks in the middle of your path, and if you even so much as breathe at him by accident, he will get enraged, turn red, and chase you down. Did I mention this guy one-shots if he catches you? Your best bet is to not even choose this dude at all. You also can't even parry this dude. If you dive at him, he just becomes enraged and immediately one-shots you. If you try to outrun this dude, there's a very small chance that if you don't even stop for 1 second, you can outrun him and he'll return back to normal. But mostly, just avoid running into this guy at all. Try to not use your abilities that much, and if you do, try to use them in open spaces so that he has a higher chance to spawn beside you or behind you. Next up, we have Tick. Now this guy really only appears in overtime. If you run out of time, the game will flash red 2 times before Tick spawns. Now this guy will just continuously chase you. This guy is actually very easy to avoid if you just keep running and don't stop. But if you fall into the void or stop, there is a very high chance he will kill you. If he catches up to you, he will one-shot you. And finally, we have Saturn. This guy is literally just Ron, but on steroids. He'll do the same as Ron, rotating around you. But if you get too close to him, he will pull you in and kill you. He'll also randomly stop in the middle of your path, like Ron. And if you run into him, he'll pull you in and kill you with his saw. So, the best bet for this guy is to, like Ron, try to dive away from him as fast as possible, and also try to dive in open spaces. But apply more caution because he has a bigger range than Ron. Anyways, I have no idea how to segment into this next part, so... Now that we know a bit more about how the enemies work, using some skills from earlier, let's chain some moves together to help you save time and avoid enemies. One of the easiest tricks is the double dash. You literally just click dash twice. If you see a tight corner or turn that you could easily skip, angle yourself towards the edge and then jump before dashing twice and then jumping again, and then aiming your camera to land on the other side. This only works with 100 stamina. This is because dash takes 50 stamina. Another trick to avoid attacks is a super jump combined with a dash or a dive, which will propel you above attacks and forwards onto platforms. If you fall off a platform while running, don't panic. Just use super jump and you'll be able to jump back up onto the platform. Do not use dive or dash, as this will cause you to dive into the void. Next, I will be explaining altars. Altars usually start to appear around the 3rd or 4th worlds. There are 2 types of altars: jackpot altars and coin altars. Coin altars award you with a large amount of coins, but adds a large amount of random enemies to the map. The second type of alter is the jackpot alter. This is an alter that does a completely random action. It might remove your greed coins and bombs, or it might make Tick immediately start chasing you. Activating this is like gambling, and I would usually never do it. And finally, let's talk about classes. There are 3 classes in the game. Diver, which is the class everyone starts with. Arbitrary, which focuses on rushing and stunning enemies. And Wizard, which focuses on air control. Diver is the kit everyone starts with, and is pretty simple. When you use this dive ability, it will propel your character forwards. Diving onto a jump pad will give you plus 1.55 iframes of jump when you boost up. Diving into an enemy other than Ron or Tick will parry them and cause them to get stunned for a few seconds. Arbitrate is definitely one of the easiest classes to master. They start out with 25 more HP, they cannot take damage from colliding with objects, and they have a rush bar. If you hold R, you go really fast and your rush bar starts to deplete. During this rush, if you collide with any enemy, they will get stunned. During this rush, you can also use any of your 3 abilities, which will cancel the depletion of your rush bar and make your speed go back to normal. If your rush bar depletes fully, you will go slow for a few seconds before it starts to fill up again. Wizard is kind of complicated, but I'll give you a basic summary. Basically, you have a mana bar. If you use it below 50% mana, it will fire a lightning bolt where your cursor is. If that lightning bolt hits an enemy, you'll regen 25 mana and 10 stamina. At 100% mana, your lightning flings you away from your mouse position, which also works on enemies. I recommend using your mana bar at 100% with shift locked, turning around and then using the ability to fling yourself backwards and save a lot of time. Wizard also has plus 15 jump power and gains 1.255 jump boost near enemies. If you take damage, you get that equivalent of mana. For example, if you get 10 damage, you get 10 mana. Mana is increased by 0.15 in air. And that's it, a beginner's guide to dive. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, and don't forget to subscribe for more dive.